Yeah. Sorry, jumping around. Streaming.
All right, I think we're live here. We'll call the meeting to order at 8:21. Start by reading the mission statement at the the mission of the Lewis County, sorry. The mission of the County of Lewis IDA is to stabilize, strengthen, and grow communities through strategic community partnerships, innovative incentive programs, responsible leverage of our financial resources, and thoughtful policy development to advance economic growth and a brighter and more inclusive future for all. I don't believe we have any. That's for privilege of the floor. Kaylee sent out the meeting minutes from August last week. Any questions or comments on those? Motion approved. Motion to approve by Jerry, second, Goggin, all in favor, please. Motion carries, thank you. Financial reports for July.
Go ahead, Trish.
I think we're good, Trish.
Okay. So just to preface this really quickly, we did switch the IDA QuickBooks from desktop to online last week, which I think will be a good move. There are some differences in the reports that I just wanted to mention. That change happened late last week, so these reports are run with what was native to QuickBooks Online. The reports that had been run, the balance sheet and the profit and loss were custom reports that Cheyenne had built, and custom reports did not come over in the migration. So I wanted to just address that. The balance sheet does not show a percent change. That should be an easy fix and can be on the report for next month. And if anybody is wanting to see that for this month, I can rerun this month's once that report is rebuilt. And then the profit and loss that we've been running has been doing a budget versus actuals. And not only did that report not come over, but the budget didn't come over. And that budget, it was kind of obsolete at this point because it was created pre-merger. And so a lot of the things that were being accounted for in that budget have now shifted to Naturally Lewis. So I wanted to propose that we wait until we have a more legitimate budget or more accurate budget for the IDA for 2025 instead of moving over a budget that wouldn't necessarily be helpful for us. So I'll leave that up to you guys. I'm happy to move that information over and try and rebuild with the budget that we had, but wanted to propose that we wait until we have 2025. Any suggestions or thoughts on that before I go over these reports?
I'll just jump in for a second. Our options were basically have the board revise the 23-24 budget, and that would have been a process for this wait until 24-25, which we're in now. So as soon as we can put that in online QuickBooks, we'll be able to start generating comparisons. So we didn't take the exercise of making the board go through revising the budget with the ADO. That was worth it for the amount of time that was left in that fiscal year.
So
we'll be able to start recording.
Okay, so if we're all good there, I will just go over the reports. We had very little activity, as you can see on the expenses list. And then, does anybody have any questions on that?
postage.
Yeah. Okay, and then on to the, I'm not sure if you've moved on to the next one, the profit and loss, because I can't see what you're doing. Okay. So here we have the basic profit and loss. Nothing really I think of note here. Uncategorized income, that was a reimbursement. So it was something that was paid out of IDA that should have been paid out of Naturally Lewis. And so it was reimbursed. Other than that. And then payroll was the closeout of payroll with the end of the fiscal year. We didn't want to close anything out tax-wise unless the auditors required that we have to file something or do something. So that was the closeout of that for the IDA, that particular item. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, and then the balance sheet showing our balances. If anyone has any questions on that.
I don't know, in class.
We are earning good interest rates on that, our in your class, you'll see that we only transferred that initial $1 million over. We could transfer more over, but we have at least one large installment sale kind of on the horizon, so we haven't done that yet. If the board feels like we should move some over, it is very liquid, so we could move it back pretty easily. We could transfer some more over. We've been kind of toying with that idea. So
How quickly? We can do the same day?
Yeah, I do. I was gonna ask before you.
Yeah, if you look at installment sale, we kind of thought it was gonna move along faster, but we can definitely transfer some more.
Something that did pop up on this balance sheet that hasn't popped up in a while is the business park expenses for 74,000. Those expenses are from 2015, 16, 17-ish. And the auditors each year have suggested maybe we think about writing that off, get it off our books, right, John?
Yeah.
So just, we've kept it on there, because of our work last year with the co-op in Casanova at the time, and their potential business park concept, but that hasn't moved forward. And I think plans have changed anyway, so.
Right, we've hesitated to write it off because it would be written off as a loss as well as we thought it might resurface, but I think. I would think that in this fiscal year, we should probably write it off. Get it off our books. That's one of the things I do like about this, the way this is reporting out of QuickBooks Online, is that it shows us a little more detail on this report. Have any opinions on that?
Can we just do expense? That is supposed to be for loss. Or seriously.
And
Do we have?
yeah, right now it's listed as an asset, so it would.
Oh, I see, so, okay.
We good with that report?
Should we have a motion to write that off?
Probably should.
So, motion made by Guy, second. Third, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carried. Now, any other questions on financials? Hey, Just one thing is we get everything transitioned over and think about reports about having the loan report again.
Yeah, we do that quarterly.
Quarter. We have. Well, we do like the update, but don't we usually get like where they stand, like where the our like leases and
We do our, we get them.
It's quarterly, but we can do it monthly.
it, yeah, I thought it showed up usually, but anyways, we can figure that out, like, if it's worth it or not, just. Maybe because we just say or something.
I thought it was monthly too, just get a little where we are with what loan, that only happens quarterly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So actually, you would get it at the next meeting.
Okay.
Any other questions? Motion to approve the financials for July. Motion by Guy, second by Mackenzie. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, motion carries, thank you.
Thanks, Trish.
Yeah, thank you, George. Alright, so we have, moving on to items for approval, we have the next steps with Red Barn Meat who joined us, so just last month, that
Yeah, we
they joined us.
We squeezed the public hearing in this month because we were supposed to have the initial resolution in July, and so that made it because of the flooding. So we were able to make the public hearing resolution in August, hold the public hearing this month. If you review the minutes at all, Jordan and Rachel Brandt, the owners, attended, as well as a planning board member from the town of New Bremen. But no other public was present, and we didn't receive any written comments on the project. So we're happy to move forward internally. Cost benefit, we haven't had any updates to that would change that. Nadine, do you have anything on your end?
No, we just have the approving resolution in front of you, which outlines the seeker's been done and the public hearing, and this will authorize the IDA to enter into the lease documents for Red Barn. And as Cheyenne indicated, the benefits haven't changed as far as I know, and so they're only asking for sales tax and real property tax exemption, correct?
Correct.
And it's all outlined in the application, I mean, the approving resolution. Any questions on it?
All this renewable energy stuff, it's nice to see that. The local business project. moving forward.
Yeah, and we just did our Paris reporting, which is our reporting to the state for last fiscal year, and that project always stands out to me, their last project that's closed out now. We had to report on that one more time, and they far exceeded their employment expectations, so it's always nice to have a couple of those that do that.
Alright, so we'll need a roll call vote for the final resolution. Unless there's any other questions.
I do want to note that I did include the project evaluation policy. So just to, put in the minutes that, the state requires us to evaluate projects based on there are 6 required criteria. The extent to which the project will create or retain permanent jobs, estimated value of tax exemptions, the amount of private sector investment, likelihood of project being accomplished in a timely fashion, extent of new revenue provided to local taxing jurisdictions, and any other miscellaneous public benefit.
And if you remember, and if you want to open it. Not everybody had a laptop in front of them, but we did include all of that on the cost benefit, either on the top where it's quantifiable or the mark, less quantifiable items were down below.
Ready to roll call?
who, I'm sorry, who offered it and seconded?
We're just getting there, so.
Okay.
So yeah, we need a motion to. Approve this, motion by her, second by Jessica. All right, roll call. Darlene,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Jerry, Kenzie,
Yes.
Joe, yes, got it.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Nadine. Thanks, Nadine.
Okay, see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
So the other item for approval, I think Brittany sent out an email last week, so. The Naturally Lewis Board, is, when it was set up a year ago. There's an IDA appointee to the board at, and we staggered terms, so there's 3-year terms, but since it was a brand new board, we staggered them. I had a 1-year term as the IDA rep. That could be renewed again for another 3, but with some other stuff going on. Talked to Brittany about not doing that. Goggin was interested in joining. So unless anyone wants to duke it out for the position.
Anyone want another commitment?
This would be it for to appoint Goggin as our IDA rep to the Naturally Lewis Board of Directors as a 3-year term. That can be renewed if he chooses. So moved. Jared. Second.
Second.
Okay, second. Second. By Mackenzie, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries, thank you. Congratulations, guys. All right, moving on, directors.
IDA report. Most of the highlights that I put in the report are coming up in the agenda. But one thing I do want to highlight is that we have started our interstate controllers audit. We have 2 gentlemen on the project, Peter and Dave. Dave is the auditor that's in our office every day. Sits right in the hallway next to me and Jack, so quick access to any questions or files that he needs. How it was explained to us is that there wasn't really a reason as to why the RIDA is being audited other than we were on the list to be audited. So they explained to us that they're doing a risk assessment, so they're just kind of like looking at everything kind of high-ish level, and then they'll pick something that they're gonna be auditing, so we don't really know what they'll do with deep dive in. He's been looking into like our bank recs and billing, the Naturally Lewis partnership, and some of our pilot project binders. So we'll see. He's a very nice guy. You want to stop and introduce yourself, say hello. They did indicate that they will be talking to some board members, like definitely Joe. They will have a conversation with you at some point. I don't know part of though, but
Everyone see the email just was kind of from a weird address, but
so an email was sent to the board.
yeah, it was just a general one informing us, but it was like community. Yeah. So that's this weird address.
It didn't specify why we chose.
No, it kind of stated what you stated, that it was, they would do this high level thing. Fix something,
Mhm.
Yes,
but there wasn't any.
checks, I think, for it.
Yeah.
It's all right, I know.
But
Right.
there wasn't, cause I was making sure there wasn't any action required and there wasn't any action asked of us in the email, it was just an informational.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it, check your junk.
It was.
Right, because they're just in the phase of doing like a. Then they'll decide what area they keep that into. To expect to be projects.
Anything else? Else for updates are there, well, I guess we kind of addressed the ID reporting and correspondence with that. So new business, starting Otis. Technology.
Yeah, so each year when we do our repairs reporting for the state, it comes up that Otis is not meeting their employment goals. They haven't been for a number of years, but we know why. It's been automation, it's been the government contracts that they no longer have. So we just need to document that we've had that interaction with them and we've notified them that they are not meeting their goal and they give us a response. This is Otis's last year on that we're reporting on them, we're supposed to not that pilot. So this is the last year that it could come up with ABL or OSC.
Is there a consequence to that?
We could, the IDA every year could choose to cancel their pilot because they're not meeting that goal. The board each year has to decide whether they're going to do that this year. I mean, we could slap them on the hand, but it's the pilot's done anyway.
It would have essentially kicked them back onto the tax rolls at an earlier date.
Yeah. This one is kind of a case study and making sure we help an applicant set attainable goals, but also building their pilot such that if that the benefits aren't solely based on employment, because you want to see a business that's running efficiently and not just keeping people on to meet a pilot goal.
This is also. This pilot was created before the new. Policies that we put in place that kind of start to set them up. Oh, they're going off the cliff.
No,
They're still staff.
No, they stepped up.
Okay.
Full taxation.
Got it.
That was part
That
of,
was solar.
that's been part of the conversation.
Well, we
Now,
changed,
Too, is that their benefit has been getting less and less and less anyway.
we changed the percentages and the timeframes for that, but that's all, that's really what a traditional pilot has always been, is you're gradually. So they don't build a project and immediately get reassessed for a big amount and have that kind of shock all at once. Is you step them up 25%, 50%, whatever, you know.
Just adjusted those
And-
percentages.
Right, we and the time, some of the time, so. Yeah, it's really the opposite challenge with the renewable energy ones, because they have escalators built into them. But then it's when that project gets decommissioned at the end, that there's a void left there. Because when we do a traditional pilot with business, it's the hit the municipalities, quote unquote, the hit they're taking is at the beginning. Cause they're not immediately reassessing that new build or whatever, but that they step up over time. And so each increment, the municipalities getting more and more until it goes on full taxation. And so the renewable energy ones created the opposite issue. They go up and up and up, and then they disappear. It's not like or at least one has never gone to just gone on to the tax reform. So that's the, it's really the opposite, the totally opposite trend, or Alright, so an update there, anything else that we need to? AMF, Update.
We haven't received Cubica's installment sale application yet, I know they were working on it. But then they realized that they were going to have to go through a secret process, and that process is gonna take them at least 3 months, so this is kind of back burner because our process will only take 1 or 2 months. But we are still expecting an application, as I referenced earlier with our cash reserves. The intent would be for us to buy a piece of equipment. And then they'll use some of their funding to kind of make a bubble payment up front, so that we're only amortizing maybe $400,000 or less, hopefully, but to be determined as they work through their funding sources.
They did receive a CFA grant of $160,000. 160,000. That once the project is complete, they will receive those funds and then continue to pay us back. So it'll be a large upfront payment, but majority of it will be paid down pretty quickly.
Thank you. Board evaluation.
Just wanted to acknowledge receipt of board evaluations in minutes, so thank you. Also forgot the fiduciary duty forms for everyone to sign, so I will send those out to everyone. But just something we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were hoping to get a developer on the hook and maybe we still will find somebody who wants to take on the project for us, but it's our office building project. Sport had previously given us approval to move forward with our option to purchase it. And gather all the funding necessary to do the project to rehabilitate the building. It's not particularly structurally sound, as well as if you look at the set, obviously not super pretty right now. And with DRI money available for the meeting actually going on in 10 minutes that I might pop over to. There's a bunch of funding available, so basically what would be required of the IDA is 25% match. We would have to front the project. And then be reimbursed 75% of that. Having a meeting with an engineering firm today with the hopes that we can work something out for a possible in-kind engineering project management situation. They're looking for a possible satellite office in Lewis County. So we'll be talking through that more. But if not, we do have the money to do it. The return on investment is there, as we're able to get some lease revenue on the second and possibly third floors. So with DRI, it's a doable project. We hesitated in years prior because the full cost was not gonna fly for us.
So what would it cost, IDA? So the 400?
IDAs, if we don't come to an agreement with this engineering firm, or if it's less than that, the maximum is 400,000. We could apply for a vacant property revitalization grant to the LCIDA if we chose to. For 100,000, there's other sources that we could bring that down. With us, it's just do we use IDA money? Do we use other public monies, or do we?
But we should be able to reimburse that with the rental and whatever else we get from.
Yeah, and I can present, if this moves forward in the approval process, I can present a more complete ROI. Which is to show that.
Here's a concern, where would you go during this time? Would you need another facility to rent, because you
You
can't
would
be.
really like an Airstream? No, we would definitely dash that out, because there would be at least a window where we would be able to get on the first floor.
If you get like a bus thingy that just goes.
Right.
I'm for it.
Mobile lights, yeah, cool kinds. Airstreams.
Cheaper.
Truck too.
I'm not driving, I'm not driving.
Chicken.
Christmas.
New
weekend.
role. Right, the idea of us.
Perfect.
Well, take weeks.
What's that?
Well, they just took turns.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Wait, but I don't think you just put it on the books.
Alright,
Oh, hang on, I'll put it.
any so more updates to come as the DRI gets finalized.
Yeah, so there's a local planning committee meeting, like I said, happening at 9 o'clock. And then there's another one, that's the first review of applications, another one in 2 weeks. We wouldn't be approved until at least December, and then the process is very slow, this would be a 2026 project.
The application timeline is passed, right, so nobody else can apply to those new extensions.
And I have, today would be the first day that I'll see the applications.
So Sean's able to dig out the historic photo of the building.
And we've decided we're just gonna hang those things.
So that would be an application for neighboring properties in the option.
So that had been kind of my thought process actually, but this is 1910, so that side portion that's really ugly on our, that belongs to the building right now was actually a storefront.
Mhm.
And then Kathy's Barber Shop was there in 1910, as it currently is basically. Nothing, it doesn't, I'm just saying. Jonathan Miller left words. But yeah, so the idea would be to preserve the historic nature of it.
Bring back big ones.
Yeah, bring back the big window.
Well, right now, that little auxiliary pieces, they only stairway, right, there's not an internal stairway from
It
right
still exists, it's just locked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah. I think we could possibly could get rid of it altogether if we put an internal doorway between the two. So that'll be exciting
There's
for,
history that's worth preserving, history that's not. Alright, any other updates? Appreciate all of those.
I've got a question, weren't we going to look at the second place Bruin, he was asking for a few things for us to do.
That's
Executive.
Oh,
so,
sorry,
Oh, no.
okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, so we have, so we have a contract negotiations, topic here that would, qualify for executive session. If, the board wants to do that, so we would need a motion. Or a motion to go into executive session, got it, second to that, all in favor?
Still my question, okay.
All in favor?
Please see.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, we'll move into executive session. Thank you. All right, we're out of executive session. We. So we are entertaining a motion, to, amend the contract with Backyardigans. To, invoice them for. Taxes and utilities, since they took occupancy of the building and with payment of that, over the next 3 months through December 2024. And with the, sale of the equipment and building to begin payments on that in January of 2025.
And just say it specific for the minutes, taxes and utilities from June 2023 till December
So-
2024, I guess.
So when they took occupancy June 2023,
Yep. And then we want them paid by December 31st,
yes,
December 31st. And then we will ask them to have water and sewer.
transferred to the. And so at the beginning in January, the expectation would be monthly payments for equipment, property and taxes.
Yes.
Do we have a motion? Motion made by Herb, second by Mackenzie, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
That was the last thing on the agenda. Is there anything else for the meeting? So I don't know, as we have our next monthly meeting in October.
October.
Figure out what month this is. And I don't think we have anything else on the schedule right now.
No, I will be in a governance committee meeting soon. I'll reach out to the governance committee. We have our business and community leaders breakfast coming up on September 19th. We'll send out the link.
Alright. Anything else? Motion to adjourn. Herb, second. Jessica, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.